Welcome back to another edition of the B4evaKool Podcast. My name is Rex45, and this evening we have Issac Woodworth on the podcast. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing this evening?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing good.
Nice, man. I assume you had a busy day, busy weekend.
Yeah, pretty busy weekend. And then I had to come back to school today, so pretty busy day.
Nice. Well, let's get into it and talk. Tell the folks what you're doing and how you're doing what you're doing and stuff like that. So let's talk about how you got into riding. How young were you when you first threw your leg over a bike or 50 PW or whatever? What was your story like when you started riding?
So at the age of 2, I started riding a bicycle without training wheels, and after that, I had a love for motorcycles. My dad was a street rider, and he started to get into track days.
Mm-hmm.
He bought me a Razor, electric little pocket bike, and I was riding that around the sidewalks at my grandma's in my grandma's neighborhood. But at the same time, with my dad started doing his first race in 2017, he found out about SFP, and that's how I got into it. So I did a 3-day camp. Well, I think I just did a regular day with them, and it was a development day. And I had some coaches out there, and that's when I started to ride for real. And that's the first time I ever threw my leg over a CRF 50.
Oh, wow. So you're talking 2017, 2018?
Yeah, that's when I first started to ride. But at the same time, I was also playing baseball, so I wasn't really focused on racing. It was just really a hobby. But whenever I was 12, I started taking racing seriously.
Oh wow, man, that's pretty impressive. So, so your dad rode the streets and then decided to start doing track days. And does your dad still race today, or is he mostly helping you with your program?
Nah, once he got too busy with me, he started to chill out with the riding. He tries to ride sometimes with SFL because they have a parent and child endurance race. So sometimes me and him do that together. So he tries to ride whenever.
Wow. And now, what state you live in?
I live in Florida.
Okay. So when you started riding on the CR50, was it you did the mini camp, and after that, was it? I mean, you said you've been. Sounds like you must have loved bikes from 2 or even before 2. Did you after that? Did you say, I want to do more riding, or did you kind of, you had baseball going on? So was it more kind of sporadic?
Yeah. So when I turned 12, my dad, as a birthday present, he bought me the 3-day camp. So I went to Palm Beach International Raceway and I did the 3-day camp, and I fell in love with it because I actually had someone was teaching me how to ride instead of me just doing it by myself. So then I realized that it was fun and that I can get good at it. So I told my dad I wanted to quit baseball, but he told me I had to finish. Yeah, he told me I had to finish out my 1 year because I was committed to it. He's like, You're committed to it, so you got to finish it out. Once you finish it out, you can take on racing. So I took on racing after that.
Wow. And so in that 1 year period, did you do more track days and stuff, or kind of that was you one time and then a year later you started getting back on a bike?
Well, at the same time, because I was supposed to go up to, I think, New York to play baseball, but at the same time, I broke my wrist from a training accident. So I sat out for that. But when I came back, I did baseball for a little bit. I did some therapy on my arm since I broke it. And then I was doing track days here and there. I had a funny story. I actually rode with a cast on at the Heron compound.
Okay.
So that's how much I love this sport.
Oh wow, yeah, it sounds like it. So okay, so then your year is up of baseball, and what does training look like or riding look like now that you're, I guess, 13 or so? Are you is it more training? Are you starting to go to CCS or Pan American Series down here? What did you start? How did you start out?
Yeah, so right because my dad told me I always have to be in an extracurricular sport. So he's like, he wants me to be active. So he's like, if you're going to quit baseball, you have to do the same effort that you are in baseball into racing. It's baseball, we had 3 practices a week. So he's like, you have to train that hard or harder. So I was cycling, and I moved houses from then, but at my old house, I didn't live on near Main Street, so I was able to do circle drills and figure eights and drills like that on my 65 and 125. And then
Wow.
I was just doing that every day with my good friend Andrew, and we got good, and now we're racing professional.
That's pretty wild, man. That's pretty wild. So how long did it take you before you started racing professional?
Yeah, so like my first year, I was just training. Like I was going to Bushnell a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
then I think in 2021, whenever they did the NATC, the North American Talent Cup, I did
Yep.
2 wild cards of that, and that was like my like pro debut, I guess. And then I didn't do as good as I wanted to, but I ended up I think 9th and 11th at the first round, and then I don't know about the second round. But like in morning warm up on one of the days, I ran P3 behind Alessandro DeMario and
Okay.
Jesse James
Wow.
Shedden.
Yep.
So I'm like, that showed I had some potential. And then I trained pretty hard, and I think I took a year off. And then in 2023, I did the my Junior Cup debut.
Oh wow. And how what was that like for you? I mean, you're still a young. I mean, I no disrespect, you're still a kid to me.
Yeah.
Even though you're getting up there and stuff like that. What was that like saying like, okay, I'm 14, 15, I'm a pro. I mean, are you pinching yourself or you just calm, cool and collected?
And I think I hold myself to a really high standard because, like, all the people I hang around, like, I grew up with Avery Dreyer, and, like, of course, he's
Mhm.
older than me. So I'm
Okay.
like, growing up, I'm like, he's there. I want to be there because he started racing the Junior Cup before me. I'm like, I'm surrounded by those guys, and they're racing professionally before me. So, like, I think I had to realize that I'm a little bit younger because I'm only 16 right now. So I'm like, I got to realize
Yeah.
I'm a little bit younger and that
Yeah.
when my time is there, it's going to come. And then it was just realizing that it takes time.
Got you. And so now you're getting to the racetrack and you're in the Junior Cup. How was the first round? How was the season like for you?
Yeah. So my Junior Cup debut, I came into it like not knowing much, and like the team I was with didn't know much. So the bike we were on wasn't as compatible with the guys in front. So
Mm-hmm.
those 2 weekends weren't good. Atlanta and Barber weren't good. But in Road America, we figured out like what to do with the engine because the rules say it's a stock engine, but there's actually things you can do to it, like in the gray areas
Right.
and stuff like that.
Yep.
So we found out what we can do to it. And going into round 3, I didn't have the best qualifying. I was like 21st or something. And then race 1, I got, I think, 10th from 21st. And then race 2, I got like 14th or 13th, something like that. But like I started from 21st, so it was a pretty
Yeah.
good step. And then like I just started making progress from there. Since like I knew I was faster than some of these guys that are beating me, I just needed a platform to do it. And like I feel like my 2 years in Junior Cup, it's just all experience is what I needed, and that's why I did better my second year than I did my first year.
Okay. Yeah. That does make sense. And now does your dad or family members travel with you when you're racing?
Yeah, it's just me and my dad. Like just now at Barber, and me and my dad are flying into Atlanta, getting a rental car, going to Alabama, and flying back together. So it's just us two
Got
doing
you.
it.
Got you. Now, we'll talk about training a little bit. I know from the physical standpoint, you got a lot of training in when you're younger and stuff like that. How are you with the technical side of the bike and stuff like that? With you talking about the new team, and by the third round, you guys are starting to figure things out. How are you as a rider communicating with your team and stuff like that? Was that a huge learning curve, or just because you were around it so long? You kind of already knew some of the language.
Yeah, I don't think it was much of a learning curve. When I was a little bit younger, like when I first started out with my Ninja 300, one of my old mechanics, he started to help me out a lot. And like we would go to Jennings, and he would like make me ride on a trash bike and tell him how it is. And like he would do certain adjustments on my suspension, and make me tell him what he did. And I feel like
Okay.
that helped me a little bit. And then like now we have data and everything, so like I never had that before, so it's kind of a luxury. So like if
Gotcha.
I'm lying, they can tell I'm lying.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. So that keeps you pretty honest. And so you're in the Twin Cup this year, or Twin Series this year. Is this your first year in the Twin Cup?
yeah, so before I did 2 years in Junior Cup, and then this is my third year racing professionally, and then it's in the Twins Cup since there's no more Junior Cup.
Right, right. And so how has it's only been a couple of rounds, looks like Daytona and Barber this past weekend. What kind of bike are you riding? Is it the Yamaha R7
The GSX 8R is what I'm riding.
okay. Nice, nice. How's that bike so far, and how has it been for you those first two rounds in the in this new series?
I'm loving the bike. It has double the horsepower that my Ninja 400 did. So
Yeah.
just like the power, I love it. I had 2 tests before the season. Well, I technically 3 tests. I crashed at 2 of them, but it was just a learning experience, really, because hopping on to a bigger bike, there's nothing like it. From riding 300s and 400s to now riding an 800, it's double the CCs, more than double the power. But
Mm-hmm.
like the 8Rs, like I feel like it's one of the best bikes. It's super agile, super easy to turn, and I feel like it's lighter. It's not actually lighter, but it feels lighter than the other bikes.
Wow. And does it feel weird that weird might not be the right word. I mean, you're one of the young guys in the paddock, in the class and stuff like that. That class have a huge range of riders as far as age and stuff like that. Are you kind of a little bit more nervous, or it's just the regular nerves like you were in the junior class?
I'm not gonna say I'm more nervous. I feel like I know what I can do and I know what I'm capable of. It's just like not having the results I want is like aggravating and like frustrating. Like just this past weekend, I don't know how many times I've walked away from the bike not saying words, but I feel like it's all a learning experience and it's just racing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Got you. So let's talk about the race at Barber then. How was race one for you? I saw it rained a lot. There were a lot of crashes in rain too. What was race one like? What was qualifying like for you? And um,
Yeah, qualifying it wasn't the best because we were having problems with the front end. It was super bumpy and we couldn't figure it out. And we made some adjustments. We changed our whole triple clamp going into race one, hoping to like solve the problem because our not stock triple clamp is more stiff and more rigid than the stock one. So we
mhm,
changed it hoping to fix it, but it didn't really help. And we realized that like the rebound, like the rod inside wasn't connected. So that's why my front end was so bad. And like
right,
race one, it was just survival, I guess, because every time I would try to push, I almost crash. So like in my recent race report, I like I just tried to survive, and
right.
like I was thinking about pitting in because how bad it was, but I just stayed out and I collected a few points from it. So
Nice,
I guess
nice,
it's a
nice.
positive.
Yeah, it's good that you have already found that you got to sometimes have to ride around the problems and keep riding because as I tell people, like when I first, I'm a lot older than you, and when I first started riding, if it was a hint of rain, I was putting my bike back in the trailer. I wasn't even putting rain tires on, and now I love the rain. But
Me too.
so yeah, so it's like you already have that where it's like, okay, I'm just gonna stay out here, ride around the problem, and you got some points on it. So which you never know what the end of the season is gonna look like. So it's always good to collect some points. Let's talk about the rain on Sunday and what your thoughts are. I've heard one rider come out and said they probably should have canceled the race because it was so much rain. What was your thoughts? With the rain that came on Sunday.
Yeah, so I showed up to the track and I was already in a pretty good mood because I'm like, I love the rain.
Yeah.
I'm good in the past in the rain. I showed that I can ride in the rain. We had a little bit of a rain delay. There was a lot of rain at first and it started to slow down. I thought there was a little bit of hope of being a little bit of a mixed condition race
Mm-hmm.
because I think during the warm up, it wasn't really raining that much, and it looked like corner two started to dry. But as the time went on, it started to rain more. But it wasn't too bad. I don't feel like they should have canceled it. I feel like it wasn't a dangerous environment. I just felt it was raining. I feel like the track is a little bit not good with the weather because like
Hmm.
there should be more drains because the way it was puddling up and stuff like that in some of the corners could be prevented. But I don't think the weather was too bad. But it didn't affect my race. I just crashed.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of people, all other riders did. Now, what does it take to become a pro rider? And I mean, you seem fortunate that you had friends that were already doing it and stuff like that. There's obviously you have to find sponsors and promote your sponsors and do all that. And you're also in school. So, what's the day to day like, or like a week like? Because you're training, you got school, you got business, you got to have to at least talk with your dad about. If not, maybe even be part of that conversation.
Yeah, so like my normal day, like I wake up around like 5:30 in the morning because I got to catch the bus because I can't drive yet. So I wake up at 5:30, take a shower, go to school, and after school I get home, eat, and after that I go to the gym, maybe play a little bit of basketball for some cardio, and then after that it's just whatever happens happens. Like if my dad talks on the phone with somebody and I need to be there, I'm there. But like there's nothing really like schedule. I just do what I do, so I don't keep a schedule. Because if it's a schedule, it gets kind of boring sometimes. So I just
Right.
try to be like spontaneous, I guess, and do whatever I need to do.
Right. But it's kind of always around motorcycle riding or racing or
Yeah.
training kind of thing. So I see that. I have a 14-year-old that's she plays tennis and swims and competitively. So like we moved to Florida as one of the reasons why we came, so that way she can play more and stuff like that. So have you? And we've had conversations as far as it might be time to homeschool and stuff like that. Have you thought about homeschooling so you can have more time, or the experience you're having with your classmates and stuff like that? It's something that you want to keep.
Well, yeah, I thought of doing homeschool because like I would feel like it's more of a benefit because there's more time in the day to do more things. But like I also think about it like, what would I do if I didn't go to school? Because like time is like a thing to, school is like a thing to occupy me. If I didn't have school, I'd
Hmm.
just be sitting around all day. And
Gotcha.
like, I don't work right now because I just race. But I think I'm just like, my dad won't let me do online school because
Okay.
he's like, you were like me when I was a kid. He's like, you're like me when I was a kid. Like, you need someone to push you. He's like, if you don't have no
Gotcha.
one to push you, you won't do it. So he's like, you're gonna stay in school and finish it out. So I'm doing that right now.
Nice. And how's school going so far? Down here, it's almost coming to an end. You probably got like 6 weeks left.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going pretty good. I would say beginning of the year was a little bit hard because I was missing a lot of school because the racing season was still going on. But like the middle of the year was fine because racing wasn't as the seasons wasn't as going. So now that the racing season's kicking back up, I need to stay a little bit more on top of my work and not get behind.
Yeah.
But school's pretty easy, getting it done.
Nice. And what do your classmates think about you racing as a professional? Or some of your
Well, some of them
classmates?
think it, yeah, some of them think it's pretty cool, and like some like don't think much of it because I don't think they've really seen it. But
Yeah.
like some people that really know about it think it's pretty cool. So like I guess it's pretty cool because my friend like I come back and my friend's like, "Yo, your race is sick. Your race is sick." And then like my other friend's like, "Why'd you crash?" So
Yeah.
it's just a pretty cool because like those are my everyday people that I'm around, and like
Yep.
it's pretty cool that they find it cool.
Nice. It's always helpful when you got friends that are supporting you. And so, how are things with you and your dad? I mean, as far as just the life, because I can imagine he's working like crazy to make all this stuff happen. So,
Hmm.
and it's as and I'll use my kids as an example. It's a fine line when you're trying to keep them motivated and to because sometimes you see what they don't. Not sometimes, a lot of times you see what they don't see because just because you're younger and just haven't
Hmm.
experienced some of the stuff yet. And sometimes it's easier to listen to like a mentor who's not your dad or mom than it is, to listen to them. And I struggled with that when I was a kid as well. So, how is that when your dad is like, all right, you got to clean up, all right, you got to do that? How's that like for you? And you're a pro rider.
Yeah, like I don't like doing chores around the house. Like when my dad tells me to like wash the dishes or fold the clothes, I'm like, no, no, no. But he's like, you better get on it. He's like, all this stuff I do for you, you better get on it. So he does a lot for me, so I have to return it and do things around the house, like basic things, like take out the trash, feed the dog. It's easy stuff, but I don't want to do it.
I listen. I hear that. I don't want to do it either, and I'm grown. So I'll go back to racing. Most riders, if not all riders, set goals for themselves at the beginning of seasons. So to kind of reach for the end of the season. So what are some of your goals that you're trying to reach this year in MotoAmerica?
I would say a few goals is to win races. Like I feel like everybody's goal is to win a championship. So like my main goal is to win the championship, but I want to win a few races, break a few lap records if I could. Just anything. Okay. I'm a high achiever, I guess.
Yeah. You have to. You have to definitely believe that. That's pretty impressive. And so, do you think that you'll stay a couple of years in the Twin Series, or are you kind of looking to move up to the Super Sport class like some of the other younger riders who have not yet hit 20?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna stay in the Twins Cup for a year or two to see how it goes. I want to win at least one championship before I move up to Super Sport. So I'll probably stay in here, win a championship next year or this year. Hopefully it's this year, but I'm probably gonna stay in it and probably move up to Super Sport in 2 or 3 years.
Nice. Any thoughts of hoping to go over to like World Superbike or any other series outside of the US?
I'm trying to get my passport right now because I don't have a passport. Once I get my passport, I want to sign up for the Rebel Rookie Cup and go try out there because I know I'm fast because I ride with a lot of fast guys, and like I don't know if you know, but Julian Correa, he lives out down here in Florida, and I train with him, and he goes overseas and races. So I know what I'm capable of, and I want to go overseas and try to battle with those guys because those guys are a different breed. That's all they do. So I want to go over there, try to see what I can do with those guys.
Okay. All right. It seems like that's kind of for younger riders like yourself. It seems like that's the progression. If you want to try to get into the series over there, just because the bikes are different. GP bikes are just different than the production bikes over here and stuff like that. And just seems like it takes some of the riders over here to get used to the feel and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's not even like getting used to the feel. Like all the people overseas, like this is what they do. Like this is like our football or like our basketball. Like that's what they do. They're born into racing. Like I started when I was later. Like I started like really taking racing seriously when I was 12. And like I know guys over in Spain and Italy started when they're like 3.
Right.
So like I feel like America's just behind because we're more focused on football and stuff like that, and we're not focused on racing. But over there, they're focused on racing.
Got you. And you don't think do you think it's anything to do with the danger in the sport? And we know there's danger in football and these other sports as well. But sometimes and I've talked about this before with folks on the show, because in the 80s and the 90s and those days the US ran the world in motorcycle racing and so forth. But I just wonder if it's just parents weren't getting kids into riding as young or kind of moved away from it for a long time and just said motorcycles were dangerous and stuff like that. And I got into motorcycle racing about 12 years ago, so I'm still pretty new at it. But some of the folks, and I started out in New Hampshire at New Hampshire Speedway, But some of the folks up there realized that there was a gap in the American riders and the European riders and stuff like that, and started, we see the talent cups, and we see a lot of these mini bike schools and stuff like that. And so there are a lot more kids like yourself, the T Cobbs and these guys that are up before you and stuff like that. So it is getting better, and you guys are getting faster and stuff like that. So I guess the natural progression is to go over to Europe and try to really go to the next level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like over here, like I talked to like my teachers about it and stuff like that, and like they think it's dangerous, and like that's like a parent point of view. So I feel like football is more dangerous than racing. Like you're signing up knowing, like if you're playing football, you're signing up knowing you're gonna get hit. Like you're gonna get hit in the head. You're gonna get hit by a 300-pound lineman.
Yeah.
Like I feel like racing is like yeah, like racing it's like you don't know what's gonna happen. Like you sign up trying to win. You're not signing up thinking about, oh, I could die. Like you're not thinking about that. You're just signing up trying to win. You're not signing up knowing you can get hurt. Like you know you can get hurt, but that's not in the front of your head. Like in football, you're signing up like you got to wear pads because you're gonna get hit so much. And like yeah, racing you crash, but I feel like it's all perspective. I feel like if you try out racing, you'll realize that it's not as dangerous because like it's on a closed circuit. You're not going to get ran over by a car like on the street. So I feel like it's all perspective.
I completely agree. What you're saying there definitely is. And I think for folks that don't know about racing as if they can come to and watch a race, because I've had people come to races who have never been, and they've had such a wonderful time, and they didn't even know something like this was that they can do. Even just to go watch a race, and this is club racing, so it wasn't even like MotoAmerica or anything like that. So I definitely feel like if more people, or as more people learn about it, the sport is going to continue to grow and get huge. It seemed like last year, the baggers brought out a lot of people to MotoAmerica, and so hopefully this year, we'll see the fan base continue to grow.
Yeah, I feel like the last 2 years, like in 2023 and 2024, were like super big years. Like I remember at Barber, so many fans on the hills, and MotoAmerica, like there was like 40,000 people there. Like that's insane. And I feel like the more it grows, the better it's gonna get. Like I don't know if you've seen the video that Josh Heron posted, but like he was a little upset that there wasn't that many people at the race weekend. And I feel like people just need to come out and like bring their family and bring their friends, because like once you see it, you'll get hooked. So I feel like people just need to see it more.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. Now, do you have any rivals in the Twin Cup?
I want to say rivals. Like all of them, like Avery Dreyer and like Alessandro Mario, like all those guys are my friends. And like Alessandro stayed at my house for a few weeks. Like for the past 2 years, Alessandro comes over during Christmas time and we train together. Like me and Avery grew up together. So I want to say any rivals, but like on and off the track, it's different. Off the track, we can be buddies. Yeah, off the track, we can be buddy, but on the track, it's me versus you, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win.
Nice. And it sounds like it, man. Look, man, you're doing a wonderful job already, and yeah, every once in a while, you have to remind yourself that you're 16, so don't beat yourself up too hard if you're not there yet, because I think you're gonna see that those wins come really quickly.
Yeah. Like this past weekend at Barber, when I crashed out of third, I was beating myself up pretty hard because I knew I had the pace to win, but I don't have the experience as these guys. So like this is my first time ever riding my twin in the wet. So it was a learning experience, and I showed that I can ride in the rain. I set the fastest lap of the race, but unfortunately I crashed. It just happens. It's the name of the game. I beat myself up pretty hard. Shed a few tears this weekend. But it's just racing. I feel like that shows the dedication that's in the sport.
No doubt. And you're human at the end of the day. You have to remind yourself that you're
Yeah,
human. And it's something that it's natural thing to want to beat yourself up when something doesn't work out as the way you want, and especially when you're like, it's like, I know I
yeah,
had it, I know, and it doesn't.
yeah,
But these are the moments that will help you get to the next point, because this you're going to use this as fuel and experience as well. So next time in a wet race, you'll think a little differently. You know what I'm saying, and stuff
yeah.
like that. But again, you're still really young, so I think you don't have to worry much for for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm taking everything as a learning experience. Like I feel like everything happens for a reason, and like yeah, I'm pissed that I crashed, and I wish it could have gone better. But like at the end of the day, it happened for a reason, and I learned from it, and we're just gonna have to move on, put it in the past because it's behind me now. I can't change it. So I'm
Right.
just gonna put my head down, and we're gonna head to the West Coast, and I'm gonna show what I can do.
Yeah. And so how do you deal with that? In general, I have learned, because, for me, a lot of it, I usually on the ride back from the track is when I'm decompressing, and first you're pissed at everything. And for me, it's usually long rides. So like halfway through the ride, I can start to see like the positive things and look at a lot of the positive things of the weekend and of the race, and not just the one or two things that didn't work out. What is do you have a process for that when how do you go through that? And do you just go spend more time on a bike and a pedal bike or something, just burn some energy just to get the anger out of your system? How are you doing with that?
Yeah, it's like I feel like the MotoAmerica's a long weekend. You get there on Thursday and you don't leave till Sunday afternoon. So you really have to keep a clear head. I was getting really pissed, and like my dad was even telling me, he's like, being pissed, he's not going to help you. So I just had to keep a clear head, and yeah, I didn't get the results I wanted, but I'm able to race, and like I'm grateful for that. So there's always a positive in something. Like I learned what to do when I race in the rain. I learned about suspension. So you got to take the positives away and just push the negatives behind you because it's in the past. You can't change it. So like like whenever at Road America, I don't know if you've seen it, but in the rain in the Junior Cup, I led every single lap, and then on the last lap, I got taken out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm just thinking about all the things that I could have done to fix it, but like it's over now. I can't fix it. It happened. It happened. So I
yeah.
just like cleared my mind and moved on for the next day. And I feel like that's how you got to be because once it comes through your head, let it go out because you
Yeah.
can't let it hold you up.
Yeah, in sports like motorcycle racing, and I think all sports, you have to have a short memory when something doesn't work out. It's
Yeah,
like you hit a bad shot or anything, you got to quickly get rid of that so you can lock back in, because like you say, it is a long weekend, and you may have something happen on Friday, doesn't mean you can't recover for the rest of the weekend and stuff like
yeah.
that. Now, growing up and riding and stuff like that, so who are your favorite riders in like MotoGP, World Superbike? I'm assuming you're following all that. Any of these guys? Yeah, I see you have a lot of trophies on your wall and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I would have a Michael Jordan poster up. Who are the guys you look up to in MotoGP and World Superbike and MotoAmerica?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like growing up, I didn't really watch much racing because like I was more baseball. But when I did watch it, like my dad would he's like, watch this, and like I sat down and watched it. I was really like I was like around the Jorge Lorenzo and Valentino Rossi and Marc Marquez days. So like, that's
Yeah.
when I was watching when I was a kid. And I would say like growing up, I loved Jorge Lorenzo, but once he retired, I switched to a Marc Marquez fan. And
Okay.
now I'm a Marc Marquez fan. I think he's the best. I think he's gonna win the championship. World Super Sport. I mean, World Superbike. I really like Toprak. I like the way he rides. Like, if you see him ride, you remember that it's him. His stoppies,
Yeah.
wheelies, all that good stuff. I feel like he's one of my favorite World Superbike riders. So that's like who I look up to, and like Jorge Lorenzo and Marc Marquez are my MotoGP riders.
Okay. All right. With Top Rock, to me, he looks like he ride the BMW, like he rode the Yamaha.
Mhm.
Do you see that? Like he slides the bike just about any way he
Yeah.
wants it.
Yeah, he rides it really similar. So like Yamahas weren't the best like bike the past few years. He was on it and he was winning the championship on it. And then
Yeah.
like BMW, he switched to it and now he's winning on that. It just shows how good of a rider he is and what he's capable of doing.
Do you think he should get to MotoGP the way he's riding?
I feel like he should make a few debuts and see how it goes. I heard that I don't know who I heard it from, but I heard that he doesn't even want to go to MotoGP. So we'll just see. I heard that he's supposed to do like a wild card with Honda, but I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, I heard that as well, and there's a lot of rumors on online and stuff like that. So it's hard to know until you see them do it. It's really hard to know what's actual or factual and stuff like that. Well, I want to thank you for coming on, man. Is there anything you want to mention before you get out of here? Also, your sponsors as well and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for having me, and I want to say thanks to my whole team: Carth Performance, TSC Industries, Mex Auto Bodies, and then my personal sponsors like Screaming Mimi's, Envy Racing Apparel, Lemons, Brent with Clemente's Auto, KYT America, everybody that helps me do it, Dunlop, everybody who helps me along the way. And then I just want to say thank you to you again for having me on the show.
All right, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time, man. And I'm rooting for you. And man, you're only 16, man. So the whole world is still in front of you. Issac Woodworth, I appreciate it. Peace.
Thank you so much.